Priced in Bitcoin 21.com. This is an unbelievable site. What's going on, guys? Brandon here. If you want to know the true value of things, go to this site and bookmark it. And you can start understanding truly one of the coolest aspects of Bitcoin is the ability to use it as a yardstick, as a measuring stick, the control experiment, to be able to see exactly what is going on in the world and then understand that there is no moving goalpost with Bitcoin. You can divide everything by 21 million. You know there's never going to be more than 21 million. There's no floating interest rate on top of it. There's no debasement, nothing at all. And eventually there might be interest rates on top of it in different lending products eventually when it becomes world reserve asset and then world reserve currency. However, right now, we know as it stands though, the monetary units will never be more than 21 million and we can divide everything by it. It's so beautiful, and this website is phenomenal with going through, and you can start charting and seeing the value of things. As Mike Maloney has said, I've been studying for 12 years, Americans or Westerners know the price of everything and the value of nothing. That is such an important statement because we truly don't. We don't know how to value things because the broken fiat legacy inflationary monetary system just violently swinging all over the place. People think, well, Bitcoin's going down or these other things are going down or up. It's like, no. The dollar's just going down. The denominator is growing because they're printing more of those currency units. So now you need to find more of those currency units to buy said thing. That's why a carton of eggs was 70 cents. Now it's $7. Or the same brick ranch from 50 years ago was $5,000. Now it's $500,000 because they broke the currency and they print so many of them. The denominator keeps going, that fraction, that division problem. And now you have to find more of those currency units. And so when you look at like Rug Paul, as they say, as the Bitcoiners say, he has a great chart though. G4 central banks, so the biggest central banks, all their currency printing divided by real estate or divided by the stock market, S&P 500. It's just flat over the last 12 years, meaning the rate those things rose in perceived value just kept even with the currency printing. It shows you very quickly, once you just start to divide things by each other, it shows you the real value and shows you the real story, the reading between the lines, as they say, as to what's happening. So when you see that in real estate, if you held in real estate or you still held in stocks over the last 12 years since the great financial crisis, you've actually gone sideways. You actually haven't made any ground. The only people that have made true ground, really, over the last 14 years have been Bitcoiners. They've outpaced the market, by multiples, by orders of magnitude, where all the other, the big things, like we said, real estate, stocks, two of the bigger ones for the average person, you've just gone sideways. There's many people out there, business owners and accredited investors and big people out there that might have done better here and there. Not many of them. I mean, a lot of the big managers and the hedge fund managers, a lot of them didn't do as well. They look like they did nominally, but in real terms, when you divide things by each other, like we said, the currency printing, it just goes sideways. And that's another chart I'll show here in another video. We're going to do this again because this is I think is one of the most important topics. This is absolutely the most important topic because most people don't understand this and they don't know when to get in and out of assets, and they FOMO in at the end and they get the top and then they're selling out at the bottom because they are constantly doing the wrong thing because they don't know value. They know price, but they don't know value. And we have to look at things like log charts, logarithmic charts, and not linear charts. People get sucked into the linear charts as well. It's like right here. We're going to show you the gold or Bitcoin to the dollar over the last 14 years. And we'll see this steady decline. And we're in log scale with sats, by the way, down here. You can see it's such a great website. You can see the dollar has been getting absolutely demolished over the last 14 years by Bitcoin. If you want to look at the linear chart, it looks it's even more unfair. It's been absolutely destroyed. It's gone to zero. Bitcoin has literally taken it to pound town. So this is a better way to look at it just because, and again, even if you did the linear, let's see linear, and we'll even move it out here and see what happens. So you can see even if you move it out like some of these really wild years, it's still a very sad story. Just been absolutely crushed. It's been absolutely crushed, the dollar has, by Bitcoin. This is why it's so important. So you can go in here, check this out. You can go in and take so many different assets and divide them by each other, like crude oil. So let's look at crude oil really quick. As again, we talk about the dollar, DXY, relative strength of the dollar, the 10-year treasury, and crude oil. Those are really three of the big drivers of the economy and bellwethers and seeing what's happening with the economy and gauging what's going on, the credit events, because the stock market, equities, everything, that's all derived from these assets here. So let's see all. We'll go back all the way. And again, here again is Bitcoin, everything divided by 21 million. And if you take, obviously in linear, it's going to get crushed again, by the way, right? But if you take it in log scale, now you can see this progression again absolutely demolished. And you can put in here, fiat, the price, percentage move. You can put in all this. So it's phenomenal. You can move around with it and see what's going on. But it's been absolutely demolished. Oil has been demolished over the last 14 years by Bitcoin. So you can see the value of things when you divide them against each other. It's very, very telling when you do this. I wonder if real estate's in here up front. I think it might be. Let's see, average home. And you can probably guess what's going to happen when we look at real estate as well. It's a lot of the same story, obviously. Median new house. So here we go. And it shows you the price in sats, so you can see that. So let's go we'll check what it says here over the last 12 years in log scale. So you can see, and I'm going to not do sats. I'm going to do in Bitcoin as well, just so you can kind of see what's happening here. So, back in the day, again, it was the new house price was 27,000 Bitcoin, right? And now a new house price is 21 Bitcoin. So 25,000 times 21, 21 would give you, that 400,000 or whatever median new house price, the average in America, right? So that shows you, but it doesn't mean anything, right? When you just see these prices by themselves, they don't mean anything. But now you can have you can understand exactly what's going on. And now watch this. Watch the fiat over the last. So this is such an amazing, a beautiful way to look at this, because now this is, if you've been holding Bitcoin, this is in linear scale, so not logarithmic anymore. But if you have this, you've been holding Bitcoin, the house price for you in Bitcoin terms has gone to zero almost. It's gone to 21. It's gone through the floor. While if you're holding dollars, you are having to find more and 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 more of those dollars to buy this same exact house. This is the same median house, guys. Same median price home. You've had to find more and more dollars because they're printing more of them. Same Babe Ruth card. We give this example all the time. You have one Babe Ruth card, and then Upper Deck comes to you and says that we're going to print 1 trillion more. Now you're like, what? Mine's worthless now. Well, exactly. So all the dollars you've been holding from 10 years ago or 20 years ago, 50 years ago, are pretty much worthless. And now you have to keep working. You have to get on the hamster wheel and work, more to find more dollars to buy the same house or buy the same eggs. So you keep wondering, why am I working harder at the end of my life, 50 years old, 80 years old? Why am I working still? What am I doing? How come I'm continually having to do this? If you held, like I said, Raoul Pal showed it. If you've been holding in dollars in the stock market, real estate over the last 14 years, you've gone sideways. Because the printing of the currency and all of the global central banks has gone so crazy that it has gone sideways. Real estate and stock market has gone sideways. You have not made anything if you were hedging those things, which, is a hedge. It acted as a hedge, which is good. You didn't lose purchasing power per se, but you didn't gain anything. Bitcoiners are the only ones that did. So I hope you got something else. Please let me know any questions, comments in this. I hope this makes sense. Again, you can see the logarithmic progression of fiat and having to find more fiat to buy the same house. And here's the logarithmic progression if you've been holding Bitcoin. Over in logarithmic, all it is percentage increase, right? So this is 10, so 1 to 10, 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000. So it's the same percentage increase each interval. That's what changes in the logarithmic. So it makes it a little bit easier to see, a little bit easier for the average human eye to see, oh, wow, my life keeps getting cheaper in this orange line of Bitcoin, and my life keeps getting more expensive in the green line, the dollars, or fiat, peso, yen, bolivar. So I appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. This is not financial advice, it's freedom advice. And please go back to the other video I just did about Dow to gold ratio. Go check that out if you haven't. And it's just kind of a general ratio of Dow to gold to seeing where things are overvalued, whether undervalued, and how to tell the difference. And again, this is phenomenal if you want to do everything in Bitcoin, because this is the true measuring stick. Like I say in the last video, it's a true measuring stick. There's no variables. It's a control experiment. Bitcoin, it doesn't move. There's only 21 million. And now we can know the value of everything. Instead of knowing the price of everything, which doesn't mean anything, now we can know the value, the true value of things, and what we're buying is undervalued or overvalued. So I appreciate you, your time and energy. It's the most important asset we have. Time is energy. Energy is time. Bitcoin is energy. And energy is Bitcoin. So we know time is Bitcoin and Bitcoin is time. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.